I will start with revolution of education in Malaysia. This person, Nelson Mandela, well implied that the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world is education. It teaches what's different between right and wrong, which helps in the development of better citizens and well-paying jobs. In addition to contributing with our personal development, education teaches us the value of dedication. The Ministry of Education launched an in-depth analysis of Malaysia educational system in October 2011 with the goal of creating a new national education blueprint. The decision was made due to the country's rising international educational standards. The government desired to more fully prepare Malaysian children for the demands of the 21st century and the growing expectations of the public and parents regarding education policy. Next, I will tell about policy problems in Malaysia education. The quality of education in Malaysia, whereas there are infrastructure disparities. Disparities in infrastructure exist between urban and rural areas. Urban schools typically have better facilities, resources, and qualified teachers compared to rural schools. This discrepancy impacts the quality of education in rural areas, where students may lack access to proper learning environments, technology, and educational materials. Next is teacher quality and training. The quality of teaching staff varies across Malaysia. While there are many qualified and dedicated teachers, there are also issues with teacher shortage, particularly in rural and remote areas. Additionally, there may be discrepancies in the quality of teacher training programs, leading to inconsistencies in teaching standards. Curriculum relevance. The Malaysian education system faces criticism for its outdated curriculum that does not always align with the needs of a rapidly evolving job market and global economy. There is a growing demand for curricular reforms that emphasize critical thinking, creativity, problem-solving skills, and technological literacy. Next problem is socio-economic barriers, whereas the economic factors pose significant barriers to accessing education in Malaysia. Poverty remains a prevalent issue, particularly among marginalized communities such as indigenous groups, migrant populations, and families living in urban slums. Low-income families struggle to afford education-related expenses such as school fees, uniforms, textbooks, and transportation, leading to higher rates of school dropout and lower educational attainment levels. Another problem in Malaysia education is language barriers, where Malaysia's diverse linguistic landscape presents challenge in accessing education, particularly for minority language speakers. While Bahasa Malaysia is the national language, there are significant population of non-Malay speakers, such as indigenous groups and immigrant communities whose first language may not be Bahasa Malaysia or English. Limited availability of education in minority language can hinder these groups' access to quality education and contribute to educational inequalities.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi, my name is FIQRY bin ROZAFUZAN, and my part is explaining about objective in education policy according to the Malaysia Education Blueprint 2013 to 2035. First objective is understanding the current performance and challenges of the Malaysian education system with a focus on improving access to education, raising standards, closing achievement gaps, fostering unity among students, and maximizing system efficiency. The Malaysian education system faces accessibility, quality, achievement gaps, and unity challenges. Addressing this involves improving infrastructure, teaching quality, inclusivity, cultural understanding, and administrative efficiency to create a more equitable, unified, and efficient educational environment. Second objective is establishing a clear vision and aspiration for individual students and the education system as a whole over the next 13 years. Crafting a clear vision for Malaysian education entails empowering each student with personalized goals and skills to thrive in the next 13 years. At the systemic level, fostering innovation, adaptability, and global competitiveness while prioritizing equity, inclusivity, and sustainability will drive Malaysia's educational aspirations toward a brighter future. Third objective is outlining a comprehensive transformation program for the system, including key changes to the ministry which will allow it to meet new demands and rising expectations and to ignite and support overall civil service transformation. A holistic transformation and program for Malaysian education involves restructuring the ministry to meet evolving demands and expectations. This entails enhancing agility, transparency, and accountability to drive overall civil service transformation and better support educational goals.
Hi and Assalamualaikum to all. My name is NORSYAMIMI binti ROSLIZAM. I'm here to present about strategies to achieve educational objectives. So, the first objective of education is to understanding the current performance and challenge of the Malaysian education system that have been explained by FIQRY just before this. So first strategy is introducing PISA to school students and teachers. PISA stands for Program for P, and International Students Assessment stand for ISA. So we can short form it to PISA. In this assessment, it tests the students whether the student is performing very well in mathematics, science, and reading or not. PISA also includes the comparison ranks between Malaysia and other countries. Introducing trends in international mathematics and science study is themes to measure how well students learn mathematics and science. TIMS is basically an international assessment regarding mathematics, science. In this assessment is focused on schools around the world, including Malaysia. So let's proceed to second objective is establishing a clear vision and aspiration for individual students and the education system as a whole over the next 13 years. So strategies that have been made by Ministry of Education is system aspiration has been presented, and these are the strategy by the Ministry of Education to achieve objective in education of Malaysia. So first, system aspiration is access. From access, all Malaysian students should have equitable access to an education that would help them reach their full potential and achieve high academic standing. By 2020, all levels from preschool to upper secondary will have 100 enrollment. So second system aspiration is quality. Every child will have the chance to get a first-rate education that is both distinctively Malaysian and on par with the best worldwide programs. The Malaysia goals is to rank among the top 3 nations in the world for performance in international evaluation as indicated by TIMSS and PISA result. So, the third system aspiration is equity. In a system of equity, top-performing school system deliver the best possible outcome for education for every child. The meaning of top-performing is deliver the most excellent education method and ways for every student. And the fourth system aspiration is unity. This creates a shared set of experience and aspiration to build Malaysian future on. And the fifth system aspiration is efficiency. Government will maintain the current level of investment. The aspiration of efficiency is to further maximize students' outcome within the current budget levels. All of these system aspirations have been established to ensure clear vision and get easy access to education. So next objective is outlining a comprehensive transformation program for the system. So the strategy is student aspiration has been developed and it clearly explained on what quality should be at student level. So basically, students that have the quality must have knowledge and leadership skill, also thinking skills, and then the style, able to connect with different pieces of knowledge and to create new knowledge for others. So the Ministry of Education have established and create program that has been increase the knowledge of student. The program that have created is intervention curriculum program for primary 1 students introduced focus on literacy numeracy. In the program, the minister became the start restructuring and renew new structure of topic that cover in science and mathematics subject that stayed in the KSSR 2017 review. Moreover, Education Minister Fadlina Siddiq said that the KSSR Edition 3 curriculum document early literacy and numeracy screening parent reporting of classroom assessment result. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, my name is NURUL FARIZSHA binti ZAIFULIZMAN. So I will talk about Malaysia's education policy and its strength in promoting quality education, inclusivity, fostering 21st century skills and supporting teacher professional development. One key strength of Malaysia's education policy is its strong focus on providing quality education. This means making sure that what students learn is relevant and prepares them well for the future. They are updating the curriculum to include real-life problem-solving skills that are important in today's world. They are also using different ways to test students' learning, like giving feedback along the way to help students improve. Another great thing about Malaysia's policy is how it promotes inclusive education. This means making sure that every child has a chance to learn and do well in school, no matter where they are come from. They are working to get more kids enrolled in school, especially in areas where kids might struggle to go to school. They are also helping kids who might want to drop out by giving them support and resources to stay in school. Malaysia education policy is also focusing on teaching students skills they will need in the 21st century, like critical thinking and digital literacy. They are doing this by organizing events like STEM fairs, where students can learn about science and technology hands-on. They are also bringing in experts to talk to students about different careers and why learning new things is important. Lastly, Malaysia's policy understand how important teachers are. They are investing in training programs to help teachers becoming even better at what they do. They encourage teachers to keep learning new things and adapting to changes in education. They are also creating new rules and giving teachers more support so they can be effective in the classroom. So, Malaysia education policy is doing a lot of great things to make sure that all students get a quality education regardless of their background. By focusing on inclusivity, 21st century skills and supporting teachers, Malaysia is setting a strong foundation for the future success of its students.
My name is MUHAMAD AIMAN bin ZAINUDDIN. My matric number is 2023262474. I'll talk about the weakness on the educational policies in Malaysia. First weakness it puts burdens on students. Malaysian students have too much work due to extra materials beyond textbooks. This is because of policies like school-based assessment, SBA, co-curricular activities, CCA, English language programs, remedial classes, special education and subject-based spending, SBB, which add to students' workload. For example, with SBA and English language programs, students get extra workbook and exercise books alongside textbooks. making studying harder. This can affect how well students can manage their studies. Also, the focus on doing well in tests puts pressure on them to do well academically, leaving little time to understand subjects deeply. Moreover, students have to carry heavy bags to school, which shows how hard it is for them to manage their schedule and work. This ties into worries about policies like CCA and remedial classes, which can limit students' time and make them tired. Next is disparities in quality. There aren't enough teachers in rural areas, which make the gap between urban and rural schools even wider. This gap in resources, facilities, and teacher quality is a big flaw in Malaysia's education policies. Because of this, rural schools struggle to teach as well as urban schools. For example, because there aren't enough good teachers in rural areas, students there don't do as well as those in the cities. It's hard for rural schools to give kids the same level of education and support. This difference in where teachers are placed shows a bigger issue with how resources and educations are shared in Malaysia's system. If policies don't fix these differences, they hold back kids' development and opportunities and keep inequalities alive. Even though there are policies that suggesting like recruiting campaigns and making it easier for teachers to move, this might not fix the real problems with the education policies. To really solve the big issue of education inequality between urban and rural areas, we need to make sure teachers are spread out better and resources are shared more fairly. Moving on to another point, which is equity in access. Malaysia's education system has both progress and challenges, especially in making education fair for everyone. Despite efforts to give all students better chance, those from low-income families and indigenous communities often face big hurdles to getting a good education. These challenges include not having enough money, different cultures, being far away from schools, and schools not having good facilities. These things make it hard for kids in these communities to get a good education. One solution people talk about is making special school for kids from low-income families. These schools would focus on helping these kids do well in school and feel supported, but some worry this could make things worse by separating these kids even more. Finally, standardized tests. Standardized tests are meant to measure how well students are doing in school, but they often miss the mark. They focus too much on one way of learning and don't consider different skills and interests students have. This can make students feel bored and demotivated when they have to study things that don't interest them. Relying too much on standardized tests can also have bad effects on students' mental health. If a student doesn't do well on a test, it can make them feel like they're not smart, even if that's not true. This can make biases and prejudices worse because it doesn't show all the things a student is good at. Overall, standardized testing doesn't work well in showing what students are capable of. We need to find better ways to see how students are doing in school, like through projects and portfolios. This would give all students a chance to show what they are good at and make learning more meaningful for everyone. That's all from me. Thank you very much.
Next, I will discuss key recommendations to enhance Malaysia's education system by reducing student workload, addressing rural teacher shortages, improving access equity, and revising standardized testing. First recommendation is reduce student workload. Simplify the curriculum and minimize extra materials to reduce student stress. By limiting workbooks and assessments, students can focus better on understanding key concepts. Second recommendation is address teacher shortage in rural areas. Offer better pay and training to attract and retain teachers in rural regions. Implement a teacher transfer system to distribute experienced educators where they are needed most. Third, improve equity in access. Allocate more resources to schools in underprivileged areas. Implement targeted programs like mentoring and tutoring to support students from diverse backgrounds. Last but not least, revise standardized testing practices. Use varied assessment methods beyond standardized tests such as portfolios and projects, view tests as one part of measuring success but not the sole indicator. So, in short, these recommendations aim to strengthen Malaysia's education system by reducing stress, improving teacher availability, promoting equity, and using fair assessment methods.
To summarize, Malaysia education policy has a lot of complicated issues that need to be considered carefully out and strategically planned for. Even if improvements in educational achievements and access to school have been made, ongoing issues with the system such as teacher quality, curriculum relevance, educational inequity, and instruction language still exist. Through implementation of creative thinking, collaborative thinking, and evidence-based decision-making, Malaysia may attempt to construct an education system that is more adaptable and durable, enabling every student to achieve success in the 21st century.